And then, as we said, they had that strong finish towards the end of the season, winning 4 of the last 7 with wins over Castleford Catalans, another win over Hull FC, and a 22-8 victory here against Salford. 20 seconds gone on the clock. It will be the Huddersfield Giants who will have first use of the ball. They will play from right to left, and it is going to be Zach Wolford who is there in there at acting half. He looks for those willing running forwards. King Vanayuyuai of the York Knights in 2026 races out. It'll be an early kick from Clune on tackle number 4, and that is dealt with by the Samoan international Toa Mata Afai. He was one of 2 try scorers for the York Knights in that grand final defeat to Toulouse. And the first penalty is won by Toa Mata Afai. Referee for this one, Liam Moore, saying that the Huddersfield marker defence were holding down. Well, we did cover the game between Doncaster and Bradford last Sunday, and there was 21 penalties, 7 set restarts, so certainly at the early part of the season, we're expecting that to continue before things hopefully merge. The last thing we as professional broadcasters and commentators and members of the media want to be doing is talking about a plethora of penalties and set restarts. York fine touch on halfway. They're going to move it just to the left of centre field here with Justin Sangaire, and Sangaire will get to his feet. He'll play the ball. McShane in there at acting half. Williams to Harris. Harris to Day. Another high tackle, and this will not please. I should have said another penalty, this time for a high tackle. This will not please head coach Luke Robinson, because it's just invited and piggyback the York Knights up the field. So if you are just joining us, we'll go through the teams again in just a moment, but we'll stay with the action here, because here at the Aku Stadium, formerly the John Smiths, formerly the McAlpine, York have a full set, 20 out from that Huddersfield try line. Rugby League Live, Giants TV, West Yorkshire Radio, McShane now to Williams. Along the line, it's going to go to Galliano. Galliano towards the corner. Great defence there from Sam Halsall, from Tuit Lolohea, and Niall Evans involved in that. There were 3 hungry Huddersfield Giant defenders there, and Scott Galliano, he has been pushed over, barrelled over into touch, a metre out from that Huddersfield try line. Scoreboard remains unmoved, untouched. It is Huddersfield 0, York 0 here. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, we're down at the Eco Power Arena Stadium again. Can't get enough of the place. What a big game that is in the opening rounds of the Championship season. Halifax travelling to Doncaster. Richard Horne and the Dons, they lie in wait. But here, with just over 4 gone on the clock, it is Huddersfield in possession, 5 shy of halfway. It's going to be Wolford out of acting half. He finds it on the inside to Asher O'Donnell, the 24-year-old former Brisbane man. He's wrapped up on the last. The ball has come out, and Nico Williams has put hands in there on the left palm of Asher O'Donnell as he was getting to his feet to play the ball. So we've had 3 penalties inside 5 minutes. Let's just hope the players settle down. As we said, or as I said moments ago, the last thing we want to be doing in 2026, every radio or stream broadcast is mentioning the officials. But Liam Moore had no options there. Here we go. Big test of York's defensive resolve right at the start of this second set for the Giants. They play it 10 metres out. They're going to go running on the left. They come back on the right. And that's good defence there from Scott Galliano. Ben Jones-Bishop also involved in that one. They move it across the face of the post with Tuit Lolohea, and it's going to move towards Liam Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe has Halsall outside him. He decides to take the tackle. Does the former Leeds man. Halsall in there at acting half, 8 metres out. Lolohea has it, 10 metres out in front of the post. Wolford now to Clune. Clune's ball bounces up unkindly for Adam Swift. If Adam Swift takes that one in, there's a chance he might just have too much room and space before Ben Jones-Bishop can slide across. So we've had an early error apiece, an early chance apiece. Just over 5 gone on the clock here on Rugby League Live on West Yorkshire Radio. Huddersfield Giants 0, York 0. No scrum. It was an error. So it will be a York play the ball. And they're 10 metres out from their own try line here. McShane to former Castleford Bradford man, Sam Wood. He is one of 6 York players on their debut this afternoon. And King Vuniyayawa has gone without the ball. So a second error here for York gives Huddersfield a fresh set of 6 inside the York 20-metre line. And immediately it will be Chris Patalo who gets up and gets a quick play of the ball in. Wolford to English. English on his testimonial this afternoon. He's brought down 2 metres out underneath the York post. It's going to go from Wolford to Clune. Clune to Hewitt. Hewitt has lost the ball on contacts there. I think it's Jesse D who's come across. Ollie Field potentially involved in that one as well. But an error apiece in quick succession to mirror the early errors that we've already seen. So 7 minutes gone on the clock here. 0-0. Huddersfield with 2 good opportunities. York have had one with Galliano in this far stand corner. And that was great awareness from Sutcliffe. Lolohea, Halsall, who shifted across. They were alert to the danger. But as we said, Luke Robinson, not really had the chance to speak to Luke Robinson yet in 2026, but I'm sure he'll be using that strong finish the Giants had, where they won 4 of the last 7 games, to go into this new Super League season. Well, we're going to see another penalty here, and this is early in the count, and it's gone against Tristan Powell, who has lifted Scott Galliano up above the horizontal, and there's been a little bit of a question mark over a dangerous landing, according to experienced Super League official Liam Moore. So, penalty up to halfway here for the Knights. We have had just shy of 10 minutes gone here. Justin Sangaré will take tackle number 1. 3 Huddersfield defenders around him. McShane in there and acting half. Goes to Thompson. Thompson to Harris. Harris to Mara Afa. And they're in the side. The Giants 20 now, the Knights. In front of the post here with Harris. Harris kicks through. Harris was taken out for mine. And that's going to be another penalty in front of the post. Liam Harris, a very, very clever kick, because he realised that the former Salford man, Niall Evans, was not where he should be, which was dead set central in that attacking line. And it's another penalty. 6 penalties already. And we've just hit the 10-minute mark. I know a lot of people listening will, or watching on Giants TV, will be thinking, Mick, please, for the love of God, don't mention the penalty count. I'll try not to, but when a penalty's awarded, I have to try and explain why it has been. Ollie Field, tackle 1, 5 out from the Huddersfield try line. Super League newbies, the York Knights, are they about to open the scoring here? Jordan Thompson nearly penalised there for going behind Justin Sangaré, who was a decoy runner. York move the ball over on the far stand side. Good defence on Ben Jones-Bishop. York's leading try scorer last season. Still 5 metres out. They go back to the 10. Harris into the in-goal area. Tui Lolohea has got a bit of work to do, but he does well, Lolohea. He just slides and dives forward into Liam Harris in the field of play. Very clever there from the Tongan. But they're under a bit of pressure here, and that pressure is relieved. 3 tackles in, playing the ball, 5 out from their own try line. King Vuniyayawa and Justin Sangaré have been penalised by referee Liam Moore. Huddersfield's 3rd penalty in this opening half, and that will allow the former Leeds Salford man, Tui Lolohea, to fire the ball just shy of the halfway line. He made his Huddersfield debut over in Toulouse back in 2022 in a big thumping 42-14 win. Hopefully, and this goes for all 3 newly promoted sides to the Super League, Bradford, Toulouse and York, hopefully they have fine seasons. I think the last thing anybody wants is for the Super League to be expanded and there to be some heavy defeats. York defending inside the 30. Matty English carries the Giants on tackle 4. 25 out now. It's going to be another quick play of the ball, and the Giants come surging inside the 20 here with Asher O'Donnell. O'Donnell's wrapped up on what's now the last. 10 in from touch. Move it to centre field. Lola here puts one up towards the corner. Sutcliffe recovers possession. McShane knocks it backwards. Well, Sangair there recovers possession, but he almost stood there like a rabbit in the headlights, and Liam Moore said, play the ball, it's gone backwards. So here we go. Hopefully no set restarts, penalties on this set. 0-0 here. 13 minutes gone on the clock. Huddersfield defending on their own 30. York on their own 20. 3 tackles gone on this new set of 6. Huddersfield made it to the last. They're going to go on this right-hand edge here with Manarafite and Toa Manarafite, who had a fine season for the Knights last season. Doing well there with some good meters. Sam Wood, close season signing from Castleford, will play it. 10 shy of halfway. Harris tries to split Evalds and Halsall. Halsall takes it from his own 5 metre line up to the 10, and Halsall will make a few more metres, the former Wigan man, and he'll get a quick play of the ball in. And now you just feel Huddersfield just trying to take the game to York, trying to win those set restarts and those penalties. As it is, Lola here, acting half, gives it to Swift, the former Saints, Hull FC man. He's brought down on his own 30 metre line. Much, much better sliding defence there from York. There was Harris and Wood involved in that one. It's going to go now to Chris Patolo. And Chris Patolo, the former Canterbury Bulldog man, gets a quick play of the ball in. And they're going to kick on tackle number 4 here, the Giants. Adam Clune will send that one down towards Ben Jones-Bishop. And Jones-Bishop will return serve. And he's brought down 15 metres out from his own try line. So just shy of 15 gone. Rugby League Live on West Yorkshire Radio. Also syndicated coverage this afternoon on Giants TV. First substitution has just been made. And that is Jack Martin, the Australian, coming on for Justin Sangair. So a Frenchman leaves and an Australian enters the playing arena. Still 0-0 here. McShane will kick early on halfway into space. That will hold up kindly. Evalds has a bit of work to do here because those amber and black shirted York shirts marshal up and trap him inside his own 10. Don't forget, this time next week we'll be in the second half, or we'll just be having the hooter, I beg your pardon. Full match commentary at Leeds Rhinos, Bradford Bulls next Saturday from 12:45. 0-0 here. 15 gone exactly on the countdown clock as we see Liam Sutcliffe taking Huddersfield inside the York half. Centre field, they are on the last now. It's going to be Lola here, back on the halfway line. Sends one down to Galliano. Oh, very nearly. Lasso tackled there by the Testimonial man, Matty English. Made 19 appearances. Didn't score a try last season. Doesn't score many, Matty English. So not quite sure if it been a pre-season, if they'll let him have a try, or I'm sure York won't let him have a try, but certainly Huddersfield might try and set him up for a try, or at the very least a conversion. So 0-0 here, heading towards the first quarter. York 20 shy of halfway. Ollie Field will get to his feet, he'll play the ball. It's going to be McShane at acting half. They're going to move it on this left-hand side, and they're up to halfway here are the York Knights. That's the last tackle, says referee Liam Moore, so it will be McShane to the Kiwi. Nickau Williams, the former Whitehaven man, who sends that one downtown towards Niall Evalds. Evalds gives it to Halsall. Halsall caught on the shoulder, according to the officials. Oohs and ahs from this crowd. Very lively atmosphere between the Huddersfield and the York fans. And Adam Swift now's playing the ball, 20 shy of halfway. They're going to move it down this left side from Jacob Gagai. Gagai gets to his feet, he'll play the ball. Now it's going to be Clune. Clune gives it to Powell. Powell's wrapped up tackle 4. 1 to go on this set. They're on halfway, the Giants. Here goes Wolford. Lola here. Sutcliffe to Halsall. Halsall against Galliano. He's grappled and wrapped up. And they're on the last 30 metres out now, the Giants. They go back to the 40 with Lola here. They're going to run it on the power play. Lola here gives it to Clune. Clune, a high hanging kick. Ben Jones-Bishop, all the experience in the world. The former Super League winner, Challenge Cup winner, World Club Challenge winner. He did well under that kick chase pressure there. 20 out from his own line. York back in possession. And we have had 17 minutes gone here. Still scoreless at the newly named Aku Stadium. Certainly going to some of the grounds in the Super League this season for myself will be a little bit different to the last time, 11 seasons ago, as Harris kicks out of acting half, and that will go dead in goal, and that will be a tap on the 20 here for the Huddersfield Giants. Well, he played a bit of a dangerous game there, Niall Evalds. He backed that Liam Harris had put too much on the power bar. And that kick, both sides in this opening quarter have been frequently kicking early in the count, trying to catch each other at the back out, perhaps with some early pre-season cobwebs to be blown off. But they do get the extra tackle here, Huddersfield, and with swift play in the ball. It's Gagai just shy of halfway. That is now tackled too. In there at acting half is Wolford, and they're going to go on this right-hand edge here with George King, who's just come on the field, who offloads the ball back to Clune. Clune now to O'Donnell. O'Donnell will get to his feet. He'll play the ball. It's going to go back down the middle here with Clune. Clune to Lola here. To King. It's gone now to Sutcliffe. And they're on tackle number 4 here inside the York 20. Clune to King. To Powell. The Australian wrapped up. 15 out. Just the left-hand side of the post. They're on the last tackle, says Liam Moore. The kick comes in from Clune. It's an error in the in-goal area by Toa Mara-Afai. It's only York's third error in the opening quarter, but it will force a goal-line dropout. Clever kicking game there from Adam Clune, the 30-year-old former St George Newcastle half. Second season at the Huddersfield Giants, and certainly after an injury-ravaged, injury-plagued 2025, he'll be looking to make up for lost time. So back underway here. 19 gone on the clock, 0-0 as King, the Ireland international, carries Huddersfield. 30 out, tackle 1. Now it's Clune to English. English, the polar bear, has made 20 metres. And they're inside the 20 here now with Clune to King. King's lost the ball forward on contact from Jordan Thompson. And I do believe Jack Martin saw 3 errors apiece. And that repeat set, all the pressure that Huddersfield had forced on the York Knights has just evaporated on that play. Well, last night in the Championship, while the scrum's forming, Salford, I think the result went pretty much as everybody expected. A home defeat, a heavy home defeat by 44 points to 0, but it has to be said, it's a minor miracle. Salford are still with us when you look what's happened at Post Office Road and Featherstone Rovers. More on that situation tomorrow during our Doncaster Halifax coverage, but certainly a crowd of between 4,000 and 5,000 at the AJ Bell Stadium last night in bitterly cold temperatures. That is a very, very promising start for Ryan Briley and Mason Caton Brown. Jordan Thompson, a 2-time Challenge Cup winner with Hull FC, is brought down 12 shy of halfway. Matty English in defence. So too with new signing Asher O'Donnell. McShane out of acting half, gives it to Martin. Martin will play it. It'll be McShane to Harris. They're on the last. Harris will kick from inside his own half, and that will be Niall Evalds who takes it on the 20 before he's clattered there by Nico Williams and Ollie Field. A quick play of the ball here from Niall Evalds. We'll see the Giants move the ball back in centre field. As we said, Huddersfield, that big injury crisis last season, Luke Robinson will be hoping there's no more repetition of that, and it's another penalty. Liam Moore is going to penalise some lazy defence there from Liam Harris. Hands on the ruck, stopping Adam Swift from playing the ball. Well, we nearly went a good 8 minutes there without a penalty. Penalty count now 4-3 in favour of the Giants. on halfway. And Lolohea will advance the Giants 20 metres out. So, 22 gone on the clock. 18 and a half to go to half-time here in Matty English's Testimonial. Rugby League Live, Giants TV, West Yorkshire Radio. Mick the game caller Gleddle. George King tackle one. He'll play it 10 metres out. Now it'll be Lolohea. Lolohea to O'Donnell. O'Donnell allowed to give the ball to King, to Clune. Gagai has it now over on that left-hand edge. And Gagai tries to run it in from 10 metres out, but he stumbled. He's finally brought down there by Kieran Hudson, the former Castleford man who's come on. But Huddersfield come surging underneath the post with George King. Can King get it down? No, he can't. He's held up on top of the line. Liam Morse has played the ball in the field of play. It's 0-0 here. It's going to be Clune to Lolohea. Lolohea out wide to Halsall. And it is the Huddersfield Giants who will break the deadlock in Matty English's Testimonial. And it's Super Sam Halsall, the 24-year-old, his fourth season at the Huddersfield Giants. 4 tries last season, but he'll be looking for a very, very bright 2026. And that was Lolohea there. There was nothing Sam Wood and Scott Galliano could do. They moved infield, and you've got to say when Tui Lolohea has ball in hand, and there's no one around the legs, he is going to be a very potent attacking threat. And it was a simple drawing the edge defence of Sam Wood and Galliano. York called, Halsall over in at the corner. We've had 23 gone on the clock here at the Aku Stadium. And it is the Huddersfield Giants who open the scoring to the great delight of their supporters. And good to see the 24-year-old Sam Halsall going over in at the corner. 4-0, Giants lead. Kick predictor turned on here for Liam Sutcliffe. He made 5 appearances in 2025. Another one of those players who suffered a season-ending injury. And the kick predictor here is saying 66%. It's literally 2 metres in from that far stand touchline. Can Sutcliffe tag on an extra 2? It's looking like it might just creep in, but it's hit the right hand upright, and it has been waved away by the touch judge and the officials. So, Giants TV, Rugby League Live on West Yorkshire Radio. Halsall opens the scoring for the Giants. Sutcliffe not able to add on or tag on the extra 2. And here on West Yorkshire Radio this afternoon, Huddersfield leading by 4-0. Don't forget, Doncaster Halifax tomorrow. Certainly a lot of people enjoying the coverage and commentary this afternoon. So we're back underway here with Matty English returning serve from Harris's restart. Now it'll be King, tackle 2. 15 metres out. Wolford on that left-hand side. He'll go to Powell. Tristan Powell, wrapped up there by Jordan Thompson and Jack Martin for the York Knights. Gagai has it to Clune, to Lolohea. Lolohea gives it to Asher O'Donnell. Well, the 24-year-old who signed from Brisbane certainly been lively in this opening first half. And here's Matty English again. And this will be the last tackle on the restart, so that will please head coach Luke Robinson. It'll go back to Lolohea on the halfway line. He will send that down to Manarafa. And Manarafa, he will be brought down by Sutcliffe and Halsall 18 or so metres out from his own try line. In there at acting half, Kieran Hudson. So if you are just joining us, 26 gone on the clock. Sam Halsall opening the scoring for the Huddersfield Giants here in Matty English's Testimonial this afternoon. York moving the ball now with Wood. Wood wrapped up by O'Donnell. Hewitt involved in that tackle. Back in centre field, the Knights will go. And once again, Matty English rolling the Knights forward onto his back. Last tackle, the 5 inside the Huddersfield half of the field. Harris from halfway, put under pressure by King. Evans will take that one on his own 10-metre line. He'll give it to Swift, and Swift's brought down on the Huddersfield 18-metre line. So 4-0 the Giants lead. We've just seen Deneve Barmforth, the former Hull FC, had a few loan spells with Newcastle Thunder in the past couple of seasons. Deneve Barmforth coming on for Paul McShane. And we are going to see here the York Knights up to halfway with Lola here. Now with Clune. Clune to O'Donnell once again, and he's making some big meters here. Is Asher O'Donnell. He'll get to his feet. He'll play the ball. They'll go on that left-hand side with Clune. Clune's going to kick early on tackle number 4. Turning around Ben Jones-Bishop. Ben Jones-Bishop drops on the ball. 5 out from the York line and takes the tackle from Swift and Gagai. Out of acting half now here from Barmforth, who's just come on the field. He's looking for one of those forwards to help York get upfield, but they're all puffing and panting ahead of the play of the ball, so it's going to be the backs, and it's a risky ball out wide, but it's paid off, has it? Ollie Field has come up with possession for York on that far-stand side. He'll be brought down by Househall, and York have just made 20 metres there with that fling the ball out wide, and Huddersfield not able to switch and slide across. It's 4-0 here as we head towards half-time in Matty English's Testimonial. Clune in defence, good defence there. He's helped out there by Hewitt. York on the last. Harris kicks towards Evalds. Ball stays in the field of play. Evalds will take it. 5 in from touch, 5 away from his own try line. And he's wrapped up there by 3 black and amber-shirted York Knights defenders. Here goes Swift. Swift's going to be brought down. 15 out from the Huddersfield line. Referee Liam Morse has held. York saying they've got momentum, and he'll lose a few more metres there, Adam Swift. And this is a much better defensive showing here from the York Knights. They trail 4-0. Sam Househall's try in the 23rd minute. The difference between the Huddersfield Giants and the York Knights here. Tackle number 4 gone, 1 to go. The 30 shy of halfway. But a lovely pass there from Tuilola here, intended on the inside to Evalds. Has been knocked forward by Nico Williams. Small margin, small potential stuff there, but the Knights coming up with their 5th error in this first half. I think Mark Applegarth will be very pleased with his showing. They've certainly got Huddersfield in the arm wrestle as things stands, and very nearly, you've got to say, if that pass from Evalds is picked off, Nico Williams is underneath the Huddersfield post. As it is, it's a scrum, 10 shy of halfway to the Huddersfield Giants. And it will be Sam Halsall who moves the ball over on this main stand side. He's brought down just to the left of centre field. Back they come down the middle here with Hewitt. Hewitt, 5 inside the York half of the field. Matty English leaves the field, and here goes the big man, Tom Burgess. Box office stuff in these parts. The former Bradford South Sydney man makes 5 metres, plays the ball. It's going to be Clune to Lola here. Lola here wrapped up by Williams again. 4th tackle gone. The 20 metres out from the York line as George King goes for a strong penetrating carry. 10 out on the last. Can Huddersfield extend their lead? Clune has it into the in-goal area, and it's going to be a try to Sam Hewitt. Referee Liam Moore points the finger. Tom Burgess was looking to apply downward pressure as well, but Tom Burgess has only just come on for Matty English. He allowed Sam Hewitt to ground the ball, and Sam Hewitt, who made his Super League debut back in 2018. It was a 22-all draw between the Giants and the Leeds. He has got the Giants' 2nd try. Lovely kick from Adam Clune, perfectly weighted. Well, Clune was chasing it up, so too with Burgess. And with 31 minutes gone on the clock here, the York Knights trail by 8-0. Well, we mentioned, you'll see what I mean when you watch the replay and the highlights, but certainly it could have been Clune, Burgess or Hewitt who grounded that ball. Very, very astute rugby league brain from Clune. There was no Mana Afai at home. It was just green, open space, and it was a delicate kick that rolled off the right boot for Sam Hewitt to ground a metre or so before the dead ball line. Can Sutcliffe add on the extra 2? Yes, he can. And it is Huddersfield Giants 10, York Knights 0 here. Giants TV, West Yorkshire Radio, Rugby League Live. Halsall and Hewitt for the Giants, 10-0, Huddersfield lead. Sutcliffe, 1 from 2, 50%. For the former Leeds man this afternoon. Liam Harris back underway here. Returned by Burgess. Oh, big collision there with Burgess Field. Also involved in that one was Kieran Hudson. And Kieran Hudson of the York Knights is involved in that second tackle on Asher O'Donnell. Here goes Jacob Gagai. Oh, Gagai with a dancing feet. York just looking a bit fatigued and tired here. We've got 7 minutes to go to half-time. They're up and over halfway here with Tristan Powell on the restart. Tackle 4, 1 left. King inside the 30 to Burgess. Burgess brought down, 25 out. They're on the last. It's going to go to Lola here. Far stand side. Evalds has it, and Evalds will glide over in at the corner. Effortless play from the Giants. We said the York Knights, they were looking a little bit fatigued and out of gas. They can't keep up with the pace of the Giants. The Giants exploiting the Super League newbies' fatigue and tiredness levels and fitness levels. And it's now 14 points to 0. A great try there. 3 tries to 0. And the Giants lead 14-0. Niall Evalds. I know we're mentioning this quite a bit, but Luke Robinson, he'll be hoping the rugby league gods are on his side in 2026 after injuries ravaged the Huddersfield Giants from the outset. Last season, George King pre-season, he had the ankle fracture. Adam Clune just made 6 appearances. Liam Sutcliffe only 5 appearances due to dislocation. Niall Evalds, mid-season signing. He played two games for Huddersfield, and on both games he went off injured and never played again. Adam Swift, of course, and Tui Lolohea also injured for the Giants. But this is vintage Huddersfield Giants here at the end of this first half. We mentioned they were getting over the advantage line. York looking a little bit gassed and tired, not able to keep up with the pace of their Super League opponents, the Huddersfield Giants. Sutcliffe on the far stand side. 5 metres in from touch. Can he add an extra 2 points here? We've had 36 gone on the clock. And this would take the Huddersfield Giants out to a 16 points to 0 leads. Sutcliffe, that looks perfect from the touchline. It is. Huddersfield Giants 16, York Knights 0. Halsall, Hewitt and Evalds with the tries. 3 tries to 0. Sutcliffe 2 from 3. Perfect kicking from the touchline. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio. Huddersfield lead the Knights by 16 points to 0. And the restart once again heading down towards Tom Burgess, who on the restart will carry the Huddersfield Giants 10 shy of the halfway line. Out of acting half, it's going to go here from Wolford. And he's just going to go short and direct here to Tristan Powell. Powell's just going to be wrapped up there, tackle 3, 20 shy of halfway. Short ball on the inside to Clune. Clune out wide to Lola here to Evalds. Evalds back on the inside. He runs a straight diagonal angle there. To Sutcliffe, tackle 4. They're up and over halfway here now with Zach Wolford. And Wolford spotted a gap, but he couldn't find Lola here on the inside. They're on the last tackle, the Giants, after going back to back. And they're going to play it here on the 20-metre line with Evalds, who hands up a relatively easy take from Toa Mara'afai, the York Knights fullback, who takes it under no real pressure from the Huddersfield attack. That might just be one where Huddersfield coach Luke Robinson's just happy and content. A clean set after points, forcing York to come back at Huddersfield from deep inside their own half. 16-0, the Giants lead the York Knights here at the Aku Stadium. Barmforth out of acting half to Martin. Huddersfield defending well. York are trapped inside their own half, so they'll kick from their own 40 with Harris. Looks for a 40-20, but they're alert to the danger there, the Giants, as Swift will return the ball 10 out from his own try line. Well, we've got 3.5 minutes to go to half-time here. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio. We will be taking a bit of a break at half-time, so you might have a bit of dead air and silence or whatever the stadium PA announcer is playing. Tomorrow, our main game, Doncaster-Halifax, live on air, 2:45. Kyle Eastman taking the Halifax Panthers down to the Eco Power Arena to face Richard Horne's Doncaster side. That should be a bruising occasion, one of those big championship games here at the Aku Stadium. George King plays it on what is the fifth and last, just over halfway. Huddersfield will kick 40 out via Clune. Clune targets Galliano, and the Samoan Scott Galliano wrapped up there by Tristan Powell, who had a few seasons with Queensland Cup side, the Burleigh Bears. Referee Liam Moore will be pleased that the players heeded his early warnings with those glut of penalties. We've just had the 7 in the first half here, and goes without saying we've not had a penalty in 11 minutes, which is pleasing for both sides. And Mark Applegarth and Luke Robinson's focus on discipline. Once again, Huddersfield on top defensively. York can't get out of their own 40-metre line, so Harris might just try a little bit of up-your-jumper rugby league, which he does. They go for it on the power play, but York have thrown the ball into touch. A 6th error in this first half from Mark Applegarth's side, and it remains Huddersfield 16, York 0. We have 80 seconds left here at the Aku Stadium. So the Giants will play the ball because it was a forward pass error from the Knights. Well, I guess that's saying variety's the spice of life. That'll please their head coach Mark Applegarth that they weren't just in that tactical kicking battle with Liam Harris kicking from deep. They actually did show a bit of enterprise and expansion and throwing it over on that far stand side. Unfortunately, the ball intended for Ben Jones-Bishop went a few yards forward and then rolled into touch. Huddersfield now on the attack. Well, if they can score a 4th try here, Huddersfield, I know points don't win any prizes in pre-season, but this has been a strong first half showing from Luke Robinson's side. Tuilola here has it, takes Jordan Thompson and Liam Harris on a run on that left-hand side before he palms the ball behind him to Jacob Gagai, who is wrapped up. 25 out, 5 in from this main stand side. They move it back in centre field with Clune to Burgess. Burgess takes 3 defenders out of that defensive line. He'll get a quick play of the ball in. They're going to go over on this far stand side. A cross-field kick looking for Halsall. Halsall juggles with possession. That one's gone into touch, and that will be a turnover in possession. We are just moments away from half-time here, and it is Huddersfield 16, York 0. Just a quick warning. Normally we play interviews or we have a bit of a natter. Fortunately, that won't be the case this afternoon. I'll be brutally honest. I'm off to the toilet and I'm also off to the press room to get myself a hot drink. It is bitterly cold despite the sunshine coming between the clouds here in West Yorkshire as the sun starts to set. We'll have the floodlights on in that second half. So, York, 15 shy of halfway, centre field. Barmforth behind Galliano, who plays it. Williams gives it to Field. Field wrapped up by Lola here. 5 inside the Huddersfield half. Tackle 4. And all of a sudden, with seconds to go in this first half, Harris will kick into space. Evans has to shift across. The ball will be in the in-goal area, but Evans does well. He's just put the handbrake on a metre, the correct side, field of play. And that was clever from Harris, but Evans, like a Waterstones top shelf bestseller, he read that play and shifted across. Huddersfield 16, York 0. Out of acting half here now from Gagai. To Powell, to Halsall, to O'Donnell. O'Donnell wrapped up there by Jordan Lip. Now they're going to go back down the middle here with Lolohea. Lolohea misses out Burgess, goes to Powell. Powell back on the inside to Evalds. Evalds is away, but the try is going to be disallowed. There was a loud call of forward from the touch judge on the far stand side, and referee Liam Moore will say that the pass on the inside to Niall Evalds went forward. So what would have been a second try to Niall Evalds and what would have been a fourth try in this first half to the Huddersfield Giants has been chalked off by the Wigan official Liam Moore. 16-0 it remains. Scrum on halfway, head and feed to the Knights. Nico Williams will feed the scrum. Harris will take it out, and Harris, he's wrapped up there by Clune and Powell in a two-man tackle. Rolled over on his back, 5 inside the Huddersfield half of the field. Jack Martin rolled over on his back as well. That allows Huddersfield to set their defensive line and just buy them an extra second or so. Here goes Xavier Vatt. And Xavier Vatt, the second Samoan in this York side, alongside Toa Matarafai. He gets a quick play of the ball in, and York shift it over on that main stand side. And now they're back in centre field inside the 20 with Harris. Harris's kick, though, it's gone straight into the arms of Tuilola here. And the hooter is imminent. And there goes the half-time hooter. No, if they perform on the field and pick up those crucial IMG points, they could certainly nudge ahead of Huddersfield, York or Toulouse in that IMG table. Well, 2 minutes past 4. Sam Halsall gets the second half underway. The floodlights ablaze. York with first use of the ball. And Jack Martin will be pushed back towards his own try line on tackle number 1. Here goes Xavier Vatt with the black scrum cap, the Samoan, on tackle 2. Well, he's lost the scrum cap there. Wolford and Powell, the two Giants defenders. Atto Ingano comes on the field off the interchange bench for the start of the second half. Certainly do our best to keep up to date with all the interchanges. It's been relatively easy and simplistic so far. It's not always the case in pre-season fixtures. So the opening set sees the Knights just inside the Giants half with Ingano, who's wrapped up 5 metres, 45 out. That's the last. Harris is calling for it. Harris will get it. Boot to ball. High hanging kick. That one will go downtown. And that now will see the Huddersfield Giants turn defence into attack. So, what can the Giants do in this second half? They had to be very, very patient in that first half. They made 3 errors to York's 6. And on 2 of the errors that the Knights came up with dropping the ball or the forward pass, Huddersfield capitalised and scored 2 tries and 10 points. Well, here we go. Fenton Rodgers out there on the field for the start of the second half. He'll get to his feet. He'll play the ball. Now it's Burgess. Last tackle for the Giants. 25 metres out, centre field. Wolford moves it on that right-hand side to Lolohea, who puts it down, looking for Flanagan Jr., who just can't stop Toa Matarafai from sliding past the York try line. And now the first penalty of the second half. And it's a relieving penalty for the York Knights because it will allow the York Knights to advance up the field. Danny Richardson also out there on at the start of this second half. So certainly a chance for Danny Richardson to shine. Join York from Ulkiston Rovers last season, but didn't feature at the business end of the season. Head coach Mark Applegarth keeping faith with Toa Matarafai, Atto Ingano and Liam Harris. 4 minutes gone right at the start of this second half. Ingano drops the shoulder. Pirouettes his way into the Huddersfield Giants half of the field. He'll get a quick play of the ball in. Richardson has it. Now it's going to go to Thompson. Thompson evades the clutches of 1-2. Finds the support of Nico Williams. And Williams towards the corner. He's over the line. Has he got it down? Referee Liam Moore, a big decision to make, says he's knocked the ball on. And Nico Williams is adjudged 2 have lost that ball. George Flanagan sweeping across there like Superman towards this main stand side. He stopped Williams from grounding the ball. There was 3 or 4 white-shirted York defenders there. Sorry, Huddersfield defenders stopping Williams, but that was great play from the York Knights. That's their first sort of line break all afternoon. It's come right at the start of the second half, and it's put the Giants under pressure. They'll have the head and feet at the scrum, 10 metres out. Referee Liam Moore saying the ball, despite appearing to be grounded, was lost forward prior to Nick Howe-Williams entering the goal area. That's why it's a scrum on the 10 and not a tap on the 20. Huddersfield Giants 16, York Knights 0. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio, Giants TV. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening this afternoon, Matty English is enjoying his testimonial. He's not on the field at the minute, but he'll come out for the closing moments, you feel, as Fenton Rodgers goes striding forward. He's looking to offload the ball out the back, but he's taken 3 York defenders with him. Quick play the ball. It's now going to be Powell to Burgess. Burgess bounces off 1, bounces off 2. Again, Burgess looking to get the ball out the back. York, the tackling for their dear life here as Tristan Powell's wrapped up. 22 metres out. Last tackle here for the Huddersfield Giants. They lead 16-0. Clune has it. He kicks towards Swift. Gagai chasing as well. Ben Jones-Bishop takes that one. 5 out from his own line. 15 in from the far stand side. And then Richardson goes in at acting half. And that will be Sam Wood on tackle 2. Wood will get to his feet. He'll play the ball. Here goes Kieran Hudson. Hudson's wrapped up. 3 white-shirted Giants defenders. Huddersfield playing in Matty English's testimonial shirt this afternoon. And there's another penalty here because Burgess and Powell, and I think Fenton Rodgers was also involved in that tackle, have stopped the Yorkman from getting a hasty play of the ball. Penalty count now up to 10. 2 to the Knights right at the start of this second half. And a chance for Richardson to advance the York Knights further. And York have lost it. Tackle 1. Jack Martin. He's just had a glance there, Jack Martin, at Burgess and Rodgers coming into his vision. And he's took his eye off the ball momentarily. And it's a 9th error so far from the York Knights. So that's one area that Mark Applegarth will clearly be looking to blow off the cobwebs in. And certainly goes without saying, whether you're playing Super League, Championship, League One, or the NCL, or even the under-8s, the under-9s, if you're going to drop the ball, you're not going to have possession, you're not going to be able to build momentum. 16-0 to Huddersfield. Scrum, 40 metres out. Gagai runs it in. 20 metres made there by Jacob Gagai. Younger brother of Australian international legend, Dane Gagai. You might remember over the years breaking a lot of England hearts. Burgess plays it now. 40 appearances for England and Great Britain as Huddersfield go without the ball. And have we just put the mockers on Burgess? It was Burgess who went for the sort of... The ball was missing him. He's affected play and he's knocked the ball forward. And now Tuilola here early on tackle 1, holding down in the tackle. Liam Moore will be keeping a track. That is a 3rd penalty in quick succession that the Knights have been awarded. So, from the halfway line, Richardson's kick will be taken by that. He will run it in, and he's brought down there by Sutcliffe and Lolohea. That's tackle 1. Hingano. York find themselves 35 out, centre field. Barmforth acting half to Thompson. Thompson's run is halted. The 25 out with 2 tackles left here, the Knights. Mark Applegarth's side looking for the first points of the afternoon. And they're now 10 metres away after a good, strong, penetrating run. Asher O'Donnell and Burgess in defence. Here goes Xavier the Samoan. Last tackle for the Knights. The dead set central in front of the post. Hingano has it to Thompson. Thompson smuggles the ball out the back They go out wide towards Wood. Wood to Ben Jones-Bishop. And Ben Jones-Bishop flies over in at the corner. And right at the start of this second half, Ben Jones-Bishop, York's leading try scorer last season with 29 tries in 24 appearances. He started last season at the Sheffield Eagles before moving back to North Yorkshire. He has scored an absolute pearler in at the corner. Ever since the Rugby Football League about 10-15 years ago said that the corner posts are redundant, that has allowed the wingers to treat us to some absolutely spectacular Rugby League football. So Ben Jones-Bishop right in that far stand corner. We have had 47 minutes gone on the clock. Are the Knights about to start a second half comeback? Strap yourselves in, we might go the distance. We didn't go the distance last Sunday between Doncaster and Bradford. Danny Richardson, he will attempt the conversion. Attempt from the touchline. Can he creep it in? It's hit the left hand upright and it is waved away by the officials. So in the first half, Sutcliffe from that same touchline after Halsall's score, he hit the right hand upright. Sutcliffe has just hit the left. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio, Huddersfield Giants 16, York Knights 4. York have started just like Mark Applegarth would have wanted at the start of this second half. A pleasing second half start for the Super League new boys. As we said, 2025, a landmark year for York and Mark Applegarth, making it one of their most successful campaigns in their short history, topping the championship table and doing enough, despite that defeat to Toulouse, to leapfrog Salford on the IMG points. So, on the restart, Barnforth out of acting half, wrapped up there by Rodgers. Well, you've got to say those 3 penalties in quick succession have really turned this game around, as has the intellect and kicking game of Danny Richardson, who sends one downtown towards George Flanagan. But Flanagan's caught high here. Justin Sanguer, the French international, has just come on the field and he's gone high on the former Bradford man. And it will be a penalty, a relieving penalty to Huddersfield, because they've had very little ball at the start of this second half inside the York half of the field. But Lola here, once again, just like he did in that first half, he, with his place kicking, will see Huddersfield tap the ball 25 out from that York line. Can Huddersfield immediately hit back? 16-0 at half-time. 16-4 now. And Tom Burgess has not played the ball correctly. And that will be a turnover in possession to the York Knights. York on 9 errors, Huddersfield now on 5. York about to bring on Paul McShane. They can smell something is building. They can certainly sense a bit of uneasiness. We mentioned it enough times in the pre-match amble. Consistency remained elusive for Luke Robinson and the Giants last season. First half, near as perfect as you can get. York over the line close twice, denied, and they did it right at the start of this second half with Nick Williams. York now on halfway with Richardson. Jesse D, 9 tries from his 27 appearances last season. The Australian plays it with a post looming on the horizon as we see York moving over on that left-hand side with Atto Hingano to Galliano. But the ball back on the inside from Galliano to Hingano has been knocked on. A 10th error from the Knights. Huddersfield back in possession. So here we go. Referee Liam Moore coaching York, saying certain players are offside. You can see it here on the vision. Those players then retreat, which gives Huddersfield a slight advantage. Adam Swift brought down on his own 40-metre line. Flanagan out of acting half to Rodgers, to Swift. Swift has it. 5 inside the York half. Decides to take the tackle. And that will be the last tackle here. Matthew Coase has just come on. Close season signing from Wakefield on the last. Just inside the York half. Lola here. Sends one down to Galliano. And Galliano is crunched and munched 5, or should I say 15 metres out from his own try line. So, if you're just joining us, 52 gone on the clock in this second half, 28 to go, and it is Huddersfield 16, York 4. Nico Williams nearly loses possession under that tackle from Rodgers and Burgess, but maintains possession, and that'll be McShane out of acting half to Sangaré. He'll play it tackle 4, 10 shy of halfway. York up and over halfway here now with Galliano. He's been taken out though, has Ato Ingano. He was involved in the passing move from McShane out to Galliano, and it's another penalty here. That's now 4 penalties in a row that the Giants have conceded in this third quarter. And the York Knights are going to go on the attack here. Danny Richardson, the former Saints. Castleford, Ulkiston Rovers, Lehman. He advances the Knights 30 metres out from that Huddersfield line. What have the York Knights got here on this set? A full set, 30 out. It's going to be Richardson. Miss out Thompson. Ingano. He, in turn, will give the ball there to D, and Jesse D draws 3 defenders out of that Huddersfield defensive line. They're scrambling. McShane, eyes like dinner plates, gives it there to Hingano, to Richardson. Richardson back to Field. Field rolled over, 5 metres out, 2 tackles left. Huddersfield backed up on their own try line here as Sangaré tries to score underneath the post, but there's Burgess, Rodgers, Flanagan involved. He's not going to get the ball down. Too much Huddersfield attention. McShane back to Richardson. They're going on this main stand side here with Galliano. I think he's got it down in at the corner. Referee disallows it though. Sam Halsall has somehow forced the York defender into touch, millimetres from grounding the ball, because for all intents and purposes, that from here looks like it was definitely cleanly grounded in the Huddersfield in goal area. That's now the 4th time in this game that York have gone exceptionally close but have not managed to breach the Huddersfield line. That will please Luke Robinson, almost certain of that one. So it remains 16-4 here in what is Matty English's testimonial game. We're at the Acoot Stadium on a Saturday afternoon, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this, when you look at the Super League fixtures, will know that there's Thursday night games, Friday games, Saturday games. I think we've got about 7, if that, Super League games in 2026. So guess where we'll be going on the other 20 plus blank weekends? As we'll find out tomorrow, we'll dip our toe back in the Championship once again. We're not leaving that competition. A lot of people keep saying, Michael, you're in Super League now. Not the case. Flanagan, halfway line. Good defence from Sam Wood. Huddersfield, after denying Scott Galliano in at the corner. They're on halfway. Boots a ball from Clune. Clune straight down the throat there of Mada Afa. Scored a try, remember, in that grand final defeat at the LNER. It came down to goal kicking. Liam Harris, 0 from 4 that afternoon. If he kicks one of those, York end up in golden point extra time. If he kicks 2, the win. Toulouse, all 10 points that Sunday afternoon in October from the boot of Jake Shorrocks. So, York back in possession on halfway with 2 tackles left on this possession. Once again, similar to the first half, the game's just finding a little bit of rhythm as Justice Sangaré is wrapped up there by Burgess. Although he's not wrapped up by Burgess because McShane has called for the ball and he's got the ball. And now there's an opportunity over on the far stand side for the York Knights. as Galliano is brought down. They're going to kick on the last, 20 metres out. The target, Flanagan Jr. Flanagan's lost the ball into touch. Referee says it's come off a York player first. Ollie Field, adjudged to have lost that one forward first. So, yeah, despite what I would say, a pleasing first 40 minutes for both sides. Yeah, there was a plethora of penalties at the start. This one's now finding the rhythm that we saw last week in the second half with Doncaster Bradford, where there's just far too many errors to build and sort of generate any cohesion and rhythm. But Connor Carr, the 22-year-old, has just come on the field as we head towards the final quarter. Still just that try from Ben Jones-Bishop. The difference in this second half. Huddersfield 16, York 4. Clune has it. Gagai now. Gets past Ward. Can't get past Bishop. And Richardson. And he's wrapped up there. Jacob Gagai. Adam Clune misses out Rodgers. Gives it to Burgess. Now it's going to go to Hewitt. To Flanagan. Flanagan has it over on that right-hand side. Last tackle here for the Giants. Lola here. Puts one up here. It's anyone's. Manarafai calls for it. Manarafai gets it. And he's brought down. 20 out from his own try line, but the ball has been stolen. Matthew Koza and Fenton Rodgers, the two guilty perpetrators of reefing the ball. Well, York lead the penalty count, 9 penalties to 5. They've had 5 penalties on the bounce in this second half. Arguably, they've not all been at the same time, but referee Liam Moore being very, very lenient, and he's allowing the game to breathe and flow in the respect of stop starting it and speaking to people. So he must deem, with his experience, that Huddersfield are not chancing their arm. They lead 16-4 with just a minute shy of the hour mark. So the first quarter, the third quarter of the game, belongs to the York Knights here. 4-0 they lead in this second half. Hingano to Sangaire. Back to Hingano. They have it. 20 inside the Huddersfield half. Toamana Afai. Wrapped up there by Rodgers and Burgess. 20 metres out. McShane goes down the middle. Outside ball to Thompson. Thompson lassoed over there by Hewitt. And Gagai. Fourth tackle. 1 to go. Wood tries to get the ball down. Has he got it down? Referee says no. Sam Wood, the former Castleford man, is short. And he's lost the ball over the line. It's young George Flanagan. He's put the defence there on Sam Wood. Well, he was almost lassoed by the shirt collar there, Sam Wood. Certainly one of the tallest players out there on the field. And George Flanagan not interfering with play, according to the officials. And Sam Wood just losing the ball. Well, the error count will not please Mark Applegarth. That's 13 errors now that the York Knights have made thus far this afternoon. But I guess if you're going to make the errors, you might as well blow away the cobwebs and make the errors in a pre-season game a month out from the Super League starting. So Huddersfield with Lola here from deep. Sutcliffe has it. 5 shy of halfway. Huddersfield fans are feeling for a penalty for contact on the back of Liam Sutcliffe's neck. Play on is the call from the officials. Lola here. Now to Gagai. Gagai out wide to Carr. Connor Carr gets a quick play of the ball in. They're on the York 40-metre line with Clune on the last. Targeting Toa Manarafai. And Manarafai has been taken out in the air. Is now a 6th penalty from the Huddersfield Giants. Well, 6 penalties to 0 in this second half. 5 penalties to 10. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio, Giants TV. Play is temporarily halted here because Liam Sutcliffe, who was appealing for a penalty after a very uncomfortable looking challenge, deemed okay by the officials, is down in back play receiving medical treatment. We can tell you, if you are just joining us, of the interchange players from the Huddersfield Giants. We have seen Tom Burgess, Fenton Rodgers, George King, Matthew Koza, George Flanagan, Connor Carr. We've yet to see Kieran Rush, Jack Billington and Marshall Land. And for the York Knights, Devine Barmforth, Xavier Vatt, Kieran Hudson, Danny Richardson, Atta Hingano, Jack Martin, Jesse D have all featured at some point in this game. So York still trail here, 16 points to 4, 12 points the gap. Are we going to go the distance this afternoon in Matty English's testimonial game? We'll see what happens. Devine Deneve, is there as Martin will play the ball. Now McShane, Hingano, very, very half chance, half break there. But Asher O'Donnell does well and brings him down. Back in centre field now with Richardson. Richardson gives it to Ward. Wood to Ben Jones-Bishop. He's put a putting touch as Ben Jones-Bishop. Good defence from Gagai and Carr. There was just a little bit of daylight there, because if Ben Jones-Bishop skips past the outside of Connor Carr from 10 metres out, there was no one down at that touchline. But I think it was a bit of a push, bumper to bumper, from Jacob Gagai into Connor Carr that nudged Ben Jones-Bishop over the touchline. Good spot by the touch judge on the far stand side. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio, still Huddersfield 16. York 4. Tries from Sam Halsall, Sam Hewitt and Niall Evalds. Evalds on the buzzer, having a fourth try disallowed for a forward pass. I think both coaches will be pleased now with how this game has gone. Huddersfield win a set restart. We've not seen many this afternoon. That might be the first, as we now see the Giants up and over halfway. Good running here from Jack Billington, who's just come on the field. Clune back on the inside to King. So English, King and Billington coming on the field. Matthew Koza, the French international, he's in there and acting half. Gives it to Clune. Clune now to Lolohea. Lolohea lifted and dumped on his side. Good defence from the Knights. A sprinkling of resilience in their defensive play. Down the middle, they're going to go here with Chris Patolo. Patolo gets to his feet. He'll play the ball as George King goes through a gap. And George King, where did that gap appear from? But he splits the dice. And George King will cross for Huddersfield's first try of the second half. Quick play the ball from Chris Patolo, the new signing here at the Giants, the Australian, the former Canterbury Bulldogs, Manly Sea Eagles man. But I think when Mark Applegarth watches that one back from 15 metres out, Clune and Lolohea linking in the spine, and George King crosses. The Ireland international, George King, the former Warrington Wakefield, Huckiston Rovers, back row forward. He was another one of those players alongside Adam Clune, Liam Sutcliffe, Niall Evans, Adam Swift, Tui Lolohea, who had an injury right at the start of last season. So maybe we catch up with him. Don't forget the Super League launch fast approaching as well. That's in a couple of weeks' time in Manchester. We'll get loads of content from that here at the Occur Stadium. A chance now for George Flanagan, the 21-year-old, Bradford-born, made 6 appearances, scoring 4 tries for the Bulls before that £80,000 move here to Huddersfield. Money well spent, you would say, based on his performances last season. 25 outings, 10 tries. Can he add 2 points to George King's try right at the start of this second half? Yes, he can. Huddersfield Giants 22, York Knights 4. And I'm just in absolutely bafflement and an amazement how George King had so much room. You've got to say, with no benefit of a replay monitor, but on first viewing, with Patolo playing the ball, or Patolo playing the ball, it was just down to the haste and speed of Clune and Lolohea. Well, we've just seen Kieran Rush and the teenage star Marshall Land come on the field. So Tui Lolohea, Adam Clune, they've helped create 4 tries for the Giants this afternoon. And with 15 minutes to go in this game, here's the try scorer, George King, and he's brought down on his own 40-metre line on tackle number 4. Centre field, Kieran Rush will kick early on tackle number 4, and he will target Ben Jones-Bishop, who will watch that one in the in-goal area. How good's the kick chase defence? It's good. Gagai putting good kick chase pressure there on Ben Jones-Bishop. And despite a few glimpses, Huddersfield have looked comfortable in control, but oh boy, that opening quarter of this second half, York had 2 clear-cut opportunities, and they might have another because there's another penalty here, a dangerous tackle on Ollie Field. So referee Liam Moore will stop the clock with Field down receiving some treatment. That's now 7 penalties to 0 in this second half. I'll certainly put that question to Luke Robinson in the post-match press conference. What are his thoughts on that? But yeah, York, to be fair, they've gone incredibly close. Ben Jones-Bishop's had a foot in touch. And we've seen Scott Galliano dive over in at the corner, but he was adjudged to have had a foot in touch. And as things currently stand, it is Huddersfield 22, York 4. Well, as we mentioned at half-time briefly, York, before they host Hull Kingston Rovers on the opening night of the Super League season, on Thursday the 12th of February, the week prior, they will face either Wigan St Jude's, Lee Minor Rangers or Barrow Raiders up there at the Craven Park Stadium, if it is the Barrow Raiders and Paul Carey's side. So a bit of a sort of post-championship feel with that one. So, referee Liam Moore saying it's a penalty for a dangerous tackle, and Danny Richardson advances the York Knights 10 shy of halfway. Well, certainly once those Super League games start, we've got Brian Noble, MBE, joining us for the first game against Hull FC. Bradford against Hull on the Saturday, the Valentine's Day game, and then the Friday after, former Bradford man Kieran Gill will be joining me in the commentary box for Bradford against Catalans. But it's not just about Bradford, as York now enter the Huddersfield Giants 20-metre line. Can the Knights hit back here? We've got just over 10 to go. McShane, Hingano to Ward, who's dropped the ball, but the officials say it's gone backwards. So a bit of sympathy from Liam Moore in that call. He'll allow Wood to play the ball. Jones-Bishop acting half. Now to the King Vuniaiwa. And they're on the last of the night here now with Richardson, who runs it to Bishop. Bishop boots a ball. No one's played it. No one's played at that ball. Or was it played at? Liam Moore will say yes. He's saying somebody played at the ball. How good's the lip reading? No, he's not. He's overruled the touch judge. The touch judge said it was head and feed to York. Liam Moore says Ben Jones-Bishop just put boot to ball, and the ball ricocheted off either Gagai or Carr and then went into touch on that far stand side. So, final 10 minutes here. Rugby League Live, West Yorkshire Radio, Huddersfield 22, York 4. Certainly going to be an uphill struggle for the York Knights in 2026. I don't think anybody is expecting anything less. Certainly when you speak to Sylvan Houlazen, Kurt Haggerty, as Huddersfield break clear up and over halfway here. Good run there from Matthew Koza. And the Frenchman is still going forward. But yeah, Kurt Haggerty, Silver-Newlays, under no illusions, it's going to be tough for the newly promoted free sides. Huddersfield on the last. Kieran Rush can't deal with the line speed there of the York Knights. So he has lost possession just as he was about to put an attacking kick in, 20 out from the York line. It remains Huddersfield Giants 22, York 4. Sam Halsall, Sam Hewitt, Niall Evans and George King, the 4 try scorers for the Huddersfield Giants. Ben Jones-Bishop, the sole try scorer for the Knights. But Nico Williams and Scott Galliano could have crossed for a try each themselves. Huddersfield defending, 10 shy of halfway. Here goes Kieran Hudson, the former Leeds Castleford man. Now with the York Knights, one of 11 players who will make the step up from the Championship to Super League with the Knights in 2026, as Sam Wood goes on that far stand side. He's brought down there by Gagai English and also Rush. Tackle 4, 1 to go for the Knights. You almost feel a second score for the Knights is consolation here. There's 8 minutes to go and they're trailing 22 points to 4. Reverse ball there towards Jesse D. Jesse D gets the ball back to Mara Afa. Inside ball to Richardson. Richardson into the in-goal area. It's just going to come up kindly there for Connor Carr. He had moved from his wing position into centre field, and that was clever play there from the Huddersfield youngster. So, final few minutes of this game, and this is a good time to bring on 32. He's come on, Marshall Land, the teenager who made his debut for the Giants in that round 24 defeat to Wakefield. Well, you look at the youngsters, Fenton Rogers, George Flanagan, who's in possession here, Connor Carr. There's certainly a lot of optimism for the future if Luke Robinson, Liam Finn and Andy Kelly can blood them and give them that vital experience. Matty English leaves the field for the final time this afternoon. He gets a standing ovation. York have just been awarded another penalty, their 8th in succession in this second half, for crossing by the Huddersfield Giants. So, can the York Knights send their scattering of supporters at Huddersfield home happy with a late consolation score? Paul McShane head down towards the line. Door slam shut there by Rush. Flanagan also involved with George King. McShane, he'll play the ball. It goes to the Kiwi. Hingano, Richardson flicks it back to Wood, and Sam Wood takes on Kieran Rush. He's still going, Sam Wood, looking to offload the ball. Finds the offload. It's gone behind everybody. Picked up by Mara Afai. Now it's gone to Barmforth. Now it's gone to Hingano. Hingano has it centre field. And those 3 white-shirted Huddersfield defenders, led by Asher O'Donnell, have forced the error there on Atta Hingano. Well, they've been awarded 12 penalties to 5. That's now a 15th error from the York Knights this afternoon. There was an equally high error count last week between Doncaster and Bradford, and I'm certainly expecting somewhat similar tomorrow between Doncaster and Halifax, purely due to the fact when I spoke to Kyle Eastman, all those interviews, by the way, on the West Yorkshire Radio SoundCloud page, you know, when you're a head coach assessing the readiness of your side, Halifax haven't had a pre-season game. They've had a few behind closed doors opposed sessions with clubs like Castleford and the Midland Hurricanes. So, bit of a deadly hush here as we count down time, but Huddersfield in possession after that Ato Hingano error. Halsall, try-scorer for the Giants in the first half, plays the ball. Koza's in there at acting half. Now it's going to go to Rush. Rush has it to Flanagan, to Gagai. Ball's just been dropped forward there by Connor Carr. Not able to take it in. It was a bit of Rush catch and pass there from the Giants, from the centre field over to the left-hand edge here. And he gets a little bit of a pat on the back from Jack Billington. Does Connor Carr there, the 22-year-old. Like I say, certainly similar to Fenton Rodgers. He's had a few loan appearances in the Championship with the Bradford Bulls and Batley over the last couple of seasons. So scrum to the York Knights. We have got 4 minutes to go here. 4 minutes as York from the scrum. They've just gone over the touchline on the far stand side. Flanagan involved, Halsall involved, Sutcliffe involved. And that might just sum York's performance up here this afternoon. They've certainly been brave to take the game to the Huddersfield Giants and try different things. But unfortunately, the execution has just been off. And you've got to give credit to Luke Robinson's Huddersfield Giants there. That sliding defence of Sutcliffe, Halsall and Flanagan, who's come on in this second half for high levels, certainly doing his chances no harm in making an impact under Luke Robinson in 2026. Well, it's freezing cold temperatures here. Someone send a heat wave down to South Yorkshire and Doncaster tomorrow. But Matty English, his testimonial, it'll be perceived as a success. 4 tries to 1. The Giants in the closing moments on halfway. McShane, Jesse D, also involved. Josh Griffin, as the ball now goes over on that right-hand side. And that will see Huddersfield with 1 tackle left. 30 metres out. Burgess draws and sucks in 3 York defenders. 25 out centre field. Huddersfield 22. York 4. Rush, boot to ball. Looks for Flanagan. Ball goes behind off Flanagan. It's going to end up with Toa Mararafai. Referee Liam Mort says that is full time.